I'm going to start from the very top. I was going to look this up, but like, what is the proper greeting? Like, what is like a very polite way to say hello and I respect you?
Oh yeah, so pretty much like you can say Assalamu alaikum, and translating that, it's peace being upon you. And then you can say wa alaikum assalam. It's like also peace being upon you as well. So we greet each other with peace at the beginning. So assalamu alaikum, or more like less formal one is marhaba.
That's awesome. So, dude, why are we here today? Like, I've been threatening my institution, right, the Christian church, with this. I'm like, I keep saying these words, and I've offended a lot of Christians with this. I'm like, I'm convinced that Muslims are looking at the same heaven as we are. I am capital C convinced. And like, dude, that pisses off my faith tradition. I'm like, well, you know what? And I've promised everybody, I've been saying this for 2 years. I promised everybody, I said, I'm going to meet somebody and we're going to talk about it and we're going to figure out what is the same and what is different. I think we sit at the precipice of like, okay, we need to have this conversation. Somebody needs to have this conversation, and it needs to be a nuanced conversation, and it needs to go there because we're about to go to we're in a holy war right now, which is, in my opinion, a devastation. It's a complete devastation to mankind. It's not in alignment with any of the religions, none of them, Jewish, Muslim, Christianity. And here we sit. And, I was just listening to a podcast the other day with one of the best journalists I know in America, Barry Weiss. She's talking about, and it's like, the Muslim Brotherhood. And like, we hear Muslim and think evil. And I'm like, how? We're so stupid on our side, us. It's so stupid. It's not fair. It's unjust. It's no different than racism. We don't understand ourselves, right? And so I've been doing this whole series where I'm just like ripping up like Christian Orthodox because we don't understand it ourselves. Catholics are at war with Protestants, and then I see, guess what? Sunnis are at war with Shiites, and I'm like, you idiots! What are we doing? So anyway, my whole intent is just to bring a foundational understanding of your religious practice as you see it to the Western world so that we can stop the nonsense. And I guess I do have an agenda. I don't want to say I have, my agenda would be to prove that they're more similar than they are different, but I'm objective, right? If you come here and tell me that you guys endorse bombing of children, it's like, okay, maybe we are different. Like that's the proverbial way that the American sees. So I just say like the tenets are kind of what I've been doing with Christianity is like the more we stack onto this stuff, the more we like get into the details is like it gets very complex. We start making rules and like we use that to divide us. So what I would ask is just in your religion, your faith tradition, which I have come to appreciate without knowing much. I want to know as much as I can, which ironically I think is give me the simplest and most essential form of the faith. And then we can kind of bolt on to like, what is a critical practice? What is an important practice? So just like speak to the ignorant American. I am here to learn more about your faith tradition.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here and having the opportunity to listen to what I have to say and also give me a way to just express what me and a lot of other Muslims might feeling or might have struggled with sometimes from misunderstanding and misunderstood. So pretty much, well, just to summarize or make it so simple, like Islam is submitting to the one and only God. So we have 5 main pillars of Islam. Well, the first one is saying your shahada, which is like you say that you admit or submit to that Allah is the one and only and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. That's the first main rule to be able to consider yourself a Muslim. Second one is doing your prayers. You do the 5 prayers in a day on their time. And we do have 5 that starts from the early morning and then 1 in the afternoon and then 2 like in the evenings and 1 at a little bit kind of like near night. That's the second one. The third pillar is Ramadan. Just do your fasting and it's a 1 month during the whole year. And we can go into more details about Ramadan and the importance of Ramadan and why we do it actually. The fourth one is give a little bit away from your money. We call it zakat. It's more like a charity or like you give money away for the people that needs it. And the fifth one is pilgrim. You do al-Hajj, which is pilgrim, and we do it once a year. And you do it one time in your whole life. You don't have to do it every single year. And that's the 5 main pillars of Islam. And if you do it, and all of it revolve around one idea or one concept, is submit everything in your life to Allah, emotionally, physically, and in your action in your daily life. And one of the main things in our principles is that do no harm, and also treat people the way they want you to treat you. Be good, be kind, be as much as helpful as you could to another human being, that whether share your religion or not. So yeah, that's as simple as I can put it this way.
Yeah, beautiful. The fifth pillar, I think everything makes very good linear sense. It's just the pilgrimage. Is that to? Where is that to?
That's in Mecca, which is actually my hometown in Mecca. Yeah. So the idea is that every single one goes there and do this 5 days or like 6 days ritual, that it just show you that no matter what position you are in life, everyone is equal. So you find a billionaire, you find a poor guy, you find the ones that doesn't have money, the ones that have family, the ones that doesn't have family. All of them just gather there, wearing nothing except the white robe on them, and doing exactly the same ritual in the same location for the same 5 or 6 days. It just shows you that no way you go in life, we're all the same.
That's beautiful. It's very beautiful. I don't see what could be so hostile about. Like Mecca is that in Saudi?
Yeah, that's in Saudi Arabia. And it's in the west side of Saudi Arabia, which is the holy city. We have two holy cities, Mecca and Al Medina.
And that is
the west side of Saudi Arabia.
And so let me make sure. So please, I'm not researched in this. So I'm very. So if I say anything ignorant,
no worries.
I'm fulfilling the typical persona of an ignorant American. That's what I am. But you're helping me be less ignorant today.
Yeah, I lived in the USA for 4 years, and one of the funniest things is that one of my friends, one of my best friends, when I was growing up there, when I was going to college there, he was thinking that everyone still lives in a tent and like rides a camel from work to home and all that. It's like, yeah, I still have my camel there. It's so hilarious. So that's no one.
Wait, where did you go to school? And when you lived here for 4 years, where was that?
In Ohio, Youngstown State University in Ohio. Was like in the border between Pennsylvania and Ohio State.
What years were you here?
Oh, that was in 2012 till 2016. Same last period of Obama, who was president at the time, before Trump became a president.
Okay, so Medina and Mecca, help me understand, because I only I thought we shared a holy land and we have a holy war over it in Jerusalem. So Jerusalem is not.
It is another one also. So it's like three main areas or three main mosques that we have. The main one is the one in Mecca, which is like the house of Allah, which is like the black square that you sometimes see on TV, and we call it Al Kaaba. That's the main house, the main place that people go for to do the pilgrimage, to do some of the rituals in Mecca. Al Medina is where the Prophet actually lived majority of his life there. The Prophet Muhammad was born and raised till the year of 40 years in Mecca, and then after he discovered Islam and started the movement of Islam, he had to leave from Mecca to Al Medina because he was afraid of his life to be assassinated by the people there that didn't believe him at the time. So he went to Al Medina and then established Islam there, and then grow from there to the whole rest of the world. And then also at the same time, Jerusalem was there, and we had the mosque, Al-Aqsa Mosque. So that's the third location. And even the Prophet went there and then he did his prayers there. So we have these three areas that considered really important to Islam, very much kind of like similar to the Vatican and Rome and all these things.
Yeah, the Vatican. Got it. Okay, so then take me, I suppose, on a journey of and I'm wrestling with this inside of our own. Well, I guess Sunni, Shia. Do you identify as either, or are there more sects than that, or is Sunni? It's really just those big two.
I'm Sunni, and majority of the Islams are here are Sunni. Shia, it's the main difference. It's between the Prophet and his nephew. So the Prophet Muhammad, we all agree as a Sunni that he's the Prophet, and and all that, and everything is correct and everything like that. But some small percentage of people that follow the Shia section, what they say is no, it should have not been Muhammad. It should have been his nephew Ali. He should be the one. He should have been the one that received the message and all these things, which is all wrong. And there's different point of views. I'm not this expert on going to that details. So yeah, that's the two. But it's pretty much kind of like similar to each other, with minor differences in some certain beliefs.
Just to be clear, because I think it's important just for particularly the ignorant among us, me. The Shiite, they believe it was Muhammad, but it should have been his nephew, or they believe it was his nephew.
No, they believe it should be his nephew.
So they would not, as you guys worship and praise to Allah, to Allah through Muhammad, they have a different prophet that they worship.
Exactly.
And what is his name?
Ali. It's not a prophet. It's like they put him into a place that even himself he wasn't okay with it, and he did not even promote for it. It just took it in the wrong way, and they just went with it by themselves. There is nothing in our scripture or in Quran or in Hadith or in other rituals says that should go forward with Ali. It just they did it themselves, and they just went with it. And it's a really small percentage. It's not.
So they would be considered your fringe. Like they're not the majority. They're the outsiders.
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then, so I guess, how do you guys, so let's say that you and I are very similarly minded. We want love and peace, prosperity for as many people as we can. We're leading lives that reflect that. Like for all intents and purposes, both of our gods would say, good on, like you lived a good and meaningful life, and I've been worshiping Jesus as he died and was resurrected, and you've been worshiping Allah as Muhammad described him. What would your religion say about me, generally speaking?
Kind of, well, in a way to put it, it's not the right people, like you following the wrong teachings of Islam that should have been. Like in Islam, we have so many similar things between us. The only difference that I see from my point of view is between on Jesus himself. Like even with us, you were not considered as a full, like a 100% Muslim unless you believe in all the other previous prophets. And we considered Jesus as a prophet, as a human being that received the message and he gave it to his people. I know that he died and he's going to come back later on, because it's mentioned also in the Quran that he will be resurrected at the end of the time. And so we don't put him anything higher than that. He's just a human being. He's a messenger, similar to Muhammad, similar to all other previous messengers. And we need to believe their message, the original one. And then, because it's all similar to each other, it's all have the same idea. It's just only one God. And that's the difference between Islam and Christianity.
You guys actually believe Jesus is coming back too, right? You guys believe that he will, yes. He's coming. So we're waiting for him to come back to convert everybody to Christianity. You're waiting for him to come back to convert everybody to Islam, correct?
Exactly. And to fight, what was his name? The Antichrist. So because what we believe is that the Antichrist will come to the world and do all these wrong things, and then that Jesus would come back to fight him, to put a stop to his tyranny.
And that, we call that the devil, you call that the Antichrist? Or is that, Do you refer to the devil? Do you guys, Antichrist is how you guys confess?
Exactly, because what we would believe is that he will have abilities that no other human has. We believe that he will has the ability to resurrect people. He have the ability to kill people. We have the ability to open like heaven and hell in front of you. All of it has that ability to do it, to test people and test their faith. And that will happen like similar, like closer to the end of the world as we know.
Yeah. You're saying the devil has the power to do those things?
Yeah, the Antichrist.
So I guess, and I'll answer the question first so that you don't have to be the jerk. My faith tradition would tell me to tell you that you're doing religion wrong and you're going to hell. That's what they would tell me to tell you. And which one for me is hypocrisy at its greatest level, right? Because my faith tradition tells me to love people. And the moment I tell you that I don't accept you and I reject your faith tradition, it's the opposite of love. So I reject my faith tradition in favor of what I think is a better interpretation. And we can get into that. But I think your faith tradition would say the same, right? And is there any room in your institution for a nuanced perspective? Like my perspective is this man is calling Allah what I call God. Him and I have a difference in belief about Jesus, but neither of us really know. Neither of us know. We just believe. Like I believe, and I'm going to say it to you. My Christian audience is going to lose their damn mind. I don't know if it matters if he died and rose again on the cross. Period. End of sentence. To me, that was a sign, right? And that's where I say kind of like, the more we put on this, the more it gets, if we just say, hey, those who seek God and love others, and I think this is what the frick Jesus said, right? And I think probably Muhammad said it too. In its simplest form is if love God, love others. If you do that, everything in the totality, in a willingness, and I like that you guys have surrender, because we should talk more about surrender. We don't over here. We're like, follow the rules. No, motherfucker. Surrender in its entirely. Please. And then dude, that's where you find the richness of life. And anyway, so is there any room in your institution for a guy like me to exist? Right. And so we think of the Middle East and any Arabic countries, and we think well, if I went over there and I said, I believe in Jesus, somebody's cutting off my head. And maybe it is that way in certain areas, but it's dude, what, and I want to go first here. I love to get my hair cut by the Arabic, and a shameless plug to all my military dudes. They cut the best hair. They give the best fades. And I was I'm in there and they're all talking Arabic around me. I'm like, these people are beautiful. These people are just beautiful humans. And me, Marine, right? All of my people would just shit on you guys, right? It's oh, you're going to go to the terrorist barbershop. It's what the fuck is that? That is not Christianity. It's not a form of Christianity. So anyway, the secret is, I'm sure you were here, is not very easy place to live, right? Because we, the self-righteous Christian, think that it's okay to demonize you, the Muslim, which is wrong. It's just wrong on its face. It doesn't agree with the Bible. I'm assuming it's similar in the Arabic Islam, or would I be more welcomed and accepted, or probably not so much?
No, actually, you will be, especially in Saudi Arabia, because it's more an open-minded than other countries. And the main thing, or the main goal, or the main thing that people respect, as long as you are good to people, and as long as you are respectful, as long as you're minding your own business, it's totally fine. No one will come and bother you. Hey, why are you not Muslim? Or why you're a Christian? You should not be here. No, that will never happen. And believe me, you can wander the whole street anytime you want, day or night. No one will even say that. Actually, they will greet you. They will smile at you, and they will be so, because it's in our nature. We are hospitable people. We like having people to our countries, to our houses, to our dinner tables, and all these things. And yeah, it's you will never find that. You might, but here's the thing: you might find small percentage of people. They might be, as you can call them, idiots or close-minded, but you will not find them a lot. They're not everywhere.
Absolutely, definitively. America is not as warm as welcoming as Saudi Arabia. Period. End of sentence. And to the Christian listening, that is your fruit. That is our fruit. We did that. And that is what we missed. That's our bad. We own that shit. That's why I'm sitting here, is because I know it. You know why I know it? Because simply saying the words that Ahmed might go to heaven upsets a lot of Christians. And I'm you guys you're hypocrites. You're the Pharisees. You're the mother effers that killed Jesus. You literally are living the lie that God, Jesus killed. I say I want to love on these people, and you say, well, I'm going to pray for you because you're going to hell for even saying that you, anyway. So you guys would be much more tolerant of me. What about if I go, what if I'm going to the temple and I'm listen, this is how I would go. Actually, I'd be I don't believe that Muhammad was the only way. I don't, and I'm saying this in my tradition right now, right? I'm saying I don't believe when Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, the life. I don't think we interpret that right. I'm sure he said it, sure. That doesn't mean exclude my love to everybody that doesn't worship as you do, right? And so I'm just wondering, if I was sitting with, what is your guys' your spiritual leaders? What do they call? We call them priests, pastors. What do you guys call your?
We call them imam. imam or sheikh.
And who is the like who? So like we worship the Pope, and we don't know we worship the Pope. I'm not Catholic, but that's the kind of the head honcho for us. You guys have like a
So
there's none.
because we go direct to Allah. We don't even go to imams unless if we need them, you know. So it's straight to you, to God right away, or to Allah. And here's the thing, like, I just wanted to share this with you really quick, because when you mentioned, like, when you said that sometimes if you said to Christians that Ahmed might go to heaven, a lot of people will get upset. But there's like a fundamental truth that we have to believe in, is that it's not in my hand, it's not in my hand, or Kevin, or Juliet, or whoever, to decide who's going to heaven or hell. It's up to Allah. Because we have a story that is in Quran. It says that one of the worshippers, he goes to heaven, and then Allah or God asks him, do you go to heaven with your deeds or my will? And then he said, go with my deeds. I was like, no, it's wrong. It's not your deed. It's my will. So it's, at the end of the day, it's all about, it's him. He's the one decided who goes to heaven or hell. Maybe everyone goes to hell. Maybe everyone goes to heaven. Maybe there's no heaven and hell. So the idea is we just need to have this faith that whatever we do, which is good, that will translate into good deeds, that will buy his mercy and letting us into his heaven.
I want to talk about heaven because I thought Eastern Orthodoxy. I thought you guys, and I've come to believe in a form of this. And like again, my religious institution would like call me a heretic, denounce me, and all these things. But don't you believe, do you believe, like we believe in the Holy Spirit, like do you believe in the kingdom within? Do you believe in the divinity within, or that's not a thing for you?
No, it's not a...
Okay, it's not a thing. Heaven for you is a place you go when you die.
Yes. So when you die, there's two places, either heaven or hell. But first you will be in the purgatory world, and then until the end of the day, judgment day. And then after that, you will be resurrected to go to either heaven or hell, based on your deeds and on Allah's mercy.
Oh, that's one thing. That's a big thing. Like the Christian people love to run around saying like, well, the Muslims believe that they earn their way to heaven. Is that true? You don't believe that, do you? Or you do? I'm kind of leading the witness here.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, like you should do good and do good deeds in order to guarantee your way into heaven. But at the end of the day, it's not your call. It's Allah's call. And it's his mercy to let you in heaven or not. So you do good and hoping of obtaining Allah's mercy and allowing you to be in heaven. So it's not like, hey, Allah, I did a really good. I did no bad in my whole life. Let me in. I will go in whether you like it or not. No, it's not like that.
And so we have a saying that sounds like you can't have faith without action, right? It can't be a real faith unless it kind of changes your life. And then, but then we also say that faith and faith alone saves us, right? So I think we have. I don't know if it's a red herring, but within ourselves we have a contradictory. But it's amazing because it's the single most thing that Christians like to say to denounce you guys is, hey, they believe in works, not faith. And you're saying no, correct? You're saying no to that. But then, and how do you guys kind of deal with, because what we say is you don't have to earn your way in by Jesus. We say by Jesus' grace. You said Allah's mercy. I say Jesus' grace. I have been saved and can be reconnected to God. But also if I have that faith, that I can't go on sinning, which would be one for one, like doing evil to myself and to God and to others, right? Something along those lines. So we say that. What do you guys say? How do you say it?
No, it goes each by other. Like you can just have faith without doing any good deeds. It's not translating, because it's about the actions that you take and about the intention that you want to do in that action. So instead of like saying, hey, I'll just go pray, or I'm a Muslim, but you actually do not pray the 5 prays, you do not do good, and you just hurt people all the time, and you curse people all the time, and you do bad things. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm Muslim. It doesn't work this way. Your actions need to translate your deeds. And also at the same time, you need to have faith while you're doing that.
Okay, so I want to make sure, because like right now, as I predicted, and like listen, I think it's so dangerous when people have an agenda, right? When people have an agenda, like you can run any company. My agenda was to prove that these are the same, but I think the best way to do that is to prove where they're different, right? And I don't know. I definitely don't know. So I come to this like, I guess part of me secretly hopes that you're this big asshole and I can say, yeah, like, sure. So, and I would tell that story though, right? Like if I could find, so I want to try to drive at that which divides us. And so in your eyes, and I guess I would go, and not to rack and stack, I'm sure there's, just like the Mormon faith, the Christian, there's the guys that are really into it. There are people that are like, kind of like, I go to church every Sunday or I do my sacraments, and it's not, this is a central piece of my life, right? Like, so I believe I embody the fullness of what a Christian seeking God daily. It's important to me. It informs my decisions. It is a basis for who I am. Like, it's very important to me. I'm assuming your faith is similar. Like, you'd be on the scale of like, you would consider yourself very Muslim. Allah is very important in your life, not just a passenger in your life. Okay. So we're similarly yoked. So this is a good conversation.
So it's very much like the same thing. Like, and one of the reasons that we have 5 prayers in a day, and it's a really beautiful way to explain it, is that when you start day in the morning, you submit yourself to Allah and you pray. Actually exercise because you go up and down and all these things. So it's kind of like, and also you clean yourself with water before you do praying. And then you go like 5 hours until like afternoon. And then you reconnect with Allah again. Will you pray, clean yourself, pray, exercise up and down. And then recenter yourself, recenter your thoughts. And then 2 hours after that, the third prayer, do it again. And then after 3 hours after that, the fourth one. And then after 2 hours, the fifth prayer. And during the day, you already connected with Allah. No matter what you ask for your life. For example, you're having a bad day, you go there and just recharge again, and then come back again, continue your day, and then doing the same thing. So if not a lot of people are perfect. I'm not a perfect Muslim as well. Some days on my week, I miss a prayer or two, and then I can notice the difference. It's like, I feel distracted. I feel like I'm sad. I feel my day is not going as planned. And then as soon as I go back and reconnect and recharge, things will go much easier and much smoother in my life. So it's very much similar to what you said. We do have to be connected with Allah and to continue in our life.
Two things I want to make sure we get to. So you guys don't believe in any spirit? There's no spirit inside of you. It's like you're just aligning yourself with Allah, the Almighty God. Is there any spiritual connection?
Exactly.
There's nothing. So because like we believe in the Trinity, right? So there's a spirit inside of us.
Oh yeah. No, there's not. So it's just Allah, and there's no spirit or not. Even like Muhammad, the Prophet himself, I don't worship him. He's just a messenger that gave us the message itself. But we do respect him a lot, and we have a high value in our life because we follow his teachings.
So let's like talk about like how you, I don't want to say depose, but how you would litigate or how you would. So like I'll say it my way so that it doesn't seem like an attack, and it's not. But like, we had the Crusades. Historically, we had the Crusades where the Christians went around killing people, right? Like, and then I look at your religion as in the Crusade phase, right? And it seems to line up with history of all the religions. So how would you just like for to the American that's like judge them by their fruit? This is what Islam stands for. What do you do with that?
Oh, well, at the beginning, if you just go through the history and all these things, the first thing is before they actually starting attacking or starting doing all that, they will ask for peace treaties and they ask for a peace negotiation, and they will enforce to them, hey, by the way, you can either submit or you can either pay the jizya. I don't know what you call it in English. It's like paying taxes for being there and protecting you, or convert to Islam. If you're okay with all these things, okay. If not, and then you want to go to war, then we can go to war. So it's not, there was an option to surrender before even attacking. And then it's based on the action of the other party, whether they agree or not.
When I heard that, I heard like, you don't denounce, you would say that it's and we can pick any conflict, like the Israeli Hamas is probably the most timely, but like when in America, I mean, you were in America, do you have a pretty good understanding of how Americans, like why Americans think that Islam is a very dangerous religion? Is that like, do you understand why we have that belief, or do you think that that is just completely maligned?
The problem is, even though when I lived there, the issue is with the majority of American people, they're not informed. They're not educated of what actually is going there. It's a similar situation with us here in Saudi Arabia as well. If you never left your country, you do not expect or you do not know what is going to be, what is there. So, and it's in our nature as a human being, you are afraid of the unknown because you have no idea what it is. So you are afraid of it and you are misled right away with the smallest lies. And that's the issue. Like the media there in the US or overall in the whole world, they don't dedicate or they don't share a beautiful picture about the Middle East in general. They just show, hey, they're terrorists, they're running, they are in a tent, or they are on their camels. That's the problem. Like majority of people are not educated or they're not aware what actually is going on there and how people are living there. And then as soon as they realize that, it's like, oh my God, we were missing a lot. The same thing with us, you know. So before I go to the US and study there, I was afraid as hell. I was afraid I'm going to be mugged. I was afraid I was going to be kidnapped. I was afraid I was going to be called all those names. Yeah, you know. But when I went there, I left most of like those 4 years were so beautiful, and a lot of people like in the US are so amazing and so loving and so supportive. And till this day, I have a lot of my friends from there still in touch with them, and they were amazing, supportive. Some of them consider as like a second family to me, you know. And that's the thing is when you step away from the media, step away from the agenda, step away from the political crazy, hungry power people, and you just go basic, like a normal citizen, like a normal human being, everyone is okay, you know. Even back in Islam, when it starts, there were non-Muslim peoples living in the same cities of Medina and Mecca, and they coexist with each other, and it was all okay. As soon as power come into place, things will go sideways.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So you said they were the same. What kind of people were there?
Way back in the early of Islam, Muslims and Jewish Christianity, they coexisted together. They lived together.
And so I guess to get to the kind of the like the heart of it, what I heard. So I heard is like, if I was being like if I'm gonna play the antagonist of America, that's like, yeah, see, he doesn't, like, he endorses terrorism, right? And I didn't hear you denounce it. I was expecting like, yeah, those people don't represent Islam. But what you're saying is,
so whatever is happening, for example, let's take 9/11, for example. I'm sorry about interrupting you. It's just like 9/11. Whatever happens there is wrong, is 100% wrong. Yeah, it's 100, like 1 trillion percent wrong. And there's one saying in Islam is that if you killed one soul, it's considered like you killed every single soul in the world. And if you saved one, it's considered like you saved everyone. So whatever those people doing is 100% wrong. And we just denounce them. And anyone that kill people in the name of Islam is mistaken, especially these days.
Okay, so it is a peaceful religion. So there's, okay, so what I want to get to then is, because you said just for me, what it sounded like when I first asked for it is like they've always asked for peace. They always they're asked to pay a tax or convert, is what you said. And then if they don't, there was a war. So but in your faith tradition, is there a justified use of force that you see in the world? Or you guys, like a proper Islamist would say, like, all of these wars and all of these, like all of the killing, there's never a time for it.
There's never a time for it. And if you are attacking me, then I'm justified to respond back. But here's the thing, let's put it in mind, like way back in the days when things started, the whole world was fighting or for expansion. Everyone wanted to expand, and but nowadays we don't see a reason for it. And as I mentioned, like the basic rule is that just don't do harm and be good and live with people in good condition. But if someone come and attack you, you need to respond back and defend yourself.
Okay. So you guys are defensive in posture, kind of. And would you be like, if I said, and like, I'm not a historian. I'm a business guy, and I read my Bible, and I think I love Jesus really well, or I think God. Actually, I think it's God. I'm going to say God, Allah. Like, I think we're on the same path. I'm going to stay there. But so I don't know what I'm talking about here, but so from my perspective, right, like Hitler, I mean, I think we would all define him as a Gentile. I don't think maybe he was a Christian. Was he a Christian? I don't know. What did he even call that guy?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
He definitely wasn't a Muslim, though. We can say that. He might have been a Christian, or he was a atheist Gentile. So that dude runs his own holy war, which I don't even understand. We'll leave that alone. And then like the whole world hates the Jew for some reason, other than America. Obviously, America seems to be friends with the Jews. And what's interesting is I can't figure this out, and maybe you can, but it's like, as a Christian, I believe the Jew killed Jesus. I hate the Muslim, but the Jews are my team. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? It doesn't okay, but so I do think though that we can agree all three of the religions at one point or another were fighting for their survival. It would seem to me that the Israelite, not necessarily the Jew, but the Israelite is under immense persecution and has been in modern time, right? World War II was only 70 years ago, right? It wasn't. And so there's some inherent, like, don't mess with me, we'll kill you, that is a disposition that they have towards the world that, like, I don't want to say it's great. I'm not endorsing it. I think they've handled Gaza and everything in Hamas awfully. Like, I stand and would condemn that, but like,
they just repeated what Hitler did to them. So they're just doing it.
So you view it as they are the Hitler of that area, persecuting the Palestinians. Okay. So my view of it is that they're fighting for their existence, and Iran is funding terrorism, but I'm an ignorant American. I understand that I'm not coming to this with the full spectrum, but help me understand. I want to say I would yield to you. I'd say that's probably true. I think they've got people in internment camps, and they've created a miserable state. I think the whole thing is catastrophic, but I think there's, like, in that one, I can't figure out if it's, Hamas or Israel. I don't know. And we can talk about who instigated October 7th. Was that like they had it, whatever, but I don't understand this current one of Israel versus Iran. To me seems more simple. Is Israel does not want Iran to nuclearize because Iran has committed to eradicating the Israelite. But is that even in your world? That's not true. I'm assuming that doesn't jive.
Yeah, but the thing is, even like the war between Iran and Israel, it was a surprise to all of us. Like, because the whole world was like focusing on what's going on between Gaza and Israel, and then out of the blue, they just started fighting with each other, and they started sending missiles from each country to each other and killing each other without any reason. And I believe, from my own opinion, like, don't quote me on that, but I believe that they're just doing it for power. They're afraid if, for example, Iran got a nuclear weapon, they will release it to them, or they break havoc in the whole area, and then they just starting killing each other, and then it doesn't make sense why they doing that. For us, it's just, I don't know.
But so at our core, if you go back to, instead of which divides us, if we can just sit here and give the simple answer is, like, your faith tradition doesn't want war. My faith tradition doesn't want war. I suspect the Jews would prefer to live in peace. So the war is like one of the stupidest things going. Like, it's completely nonsensical. So you would agree with that? So, like, if both sides would just lay down their guns, we're not having this. So you would err on the side of this is nonsense and this is a waste of human life, and, like,
exactly, it is a waste of human life. And even though, like, Iran actually fighting Saudi Arabia and fighting us for the best of 5 years, maybe even 10 years, it just.
What is that? What is the war with? I didn't know Iran and Saudis don't get along.
Yeah, we don't get along, to be honest. Yeah, we don't get along.
And what is the sticking point there? Obviously, we understand we can't get along with the Chinese either. But what's the What's the Iran-Saudi conflict?
So Iran, they're trying to bring back the Virgin State, which is totally different from Islam, and it's a bit separate from Islam because they also support that Shia system, and it's just totally wrong. And they just want to rekindle their or retake their lost kingdom or whatever, and then bring it back into life. Even Iranis, the people there lives there against it, but the government going through this way, and then it's all relates about power. It just people are hungry for power, and they just destroy whatever they find in their way, and they don't care about the middleman or the people that lives their normal day to day, and they just want to be living in peace. And yeah,
The most interesting piece of it, like you say, I agree with what you're saying. It's power. I think it's actually so. I have this this secret little heretical belief that the ego is the devil, is the antichrist at work in us, and I don't think we even recognize its power. Because like you say, it's about power, and I don't think I don't think that Trump or any of these bozos, I'm going to call them. Sorry, Mr. Donald, but like you deserve it in a way. I did not vote for him. I thought he would do a lot better than he's doing right now, to be fair. But I don't think that, the Ayatollah in Iran, I don't think that your supreme leader in Saudi, I don't think Netanyahu, Trump, I don't think any of them believe for 1 second that they're on a power trip, right? Even Mr. Putin in Russia, right? Maybe Xi Jinping or Li or whatever his name in China. I think he might actually know that he's like, I'm bringing BD and I've got an ego and I'm like on a power trip. I think he might know what he's doing. The rest of them, though, I think they've been corrupt. Like, I think. Anyway, I don't know what you think about that, but I think there's like more, like the simple answer is power corrupts. Absolutely. I'm with you, but it's like, why? You know what I mean? It's like, why? The most powerful thing that somebody could do, and I like literally, I hope somebody figures it out before I do. I will campaign on this, is like, go preach love, like go and like, and I'm sorry, I'm sure Muhammad was a very loving person. Like, go live as Jesus lived. You want to be a powerhouse? Like, you want to unite the world? Go sacrificially love the world so much that you die to your fucking ego. You stop with the nonsense. You turn your guns down. You say this. I will turn my nukes in if they turn their nukes in. And we can commit all of our defense budget to like finding a new planet, to restoring the ocean, to restoring Earth, instead of like trying to kill. I don't even know what we're trying to kill. I don't. But so like, why? I guess when I say that is like, I think your whole country would be like, yes, preach. I think all of the Chinese would say, yes, preach. All the freaking Americans are like, finally, somebody with common sense is speaking out loud. And it's like, okay, so if the whole world would say, yes, please to that, what in God's name, what has corrupted our leaders so that they can't even see that that's an option? You know what I mean? Like, how has it gotten so maligned? And I think I can't understand it. I can't understand it. The whole world does not want to be at war with itself. And yet we are. We're on the brink of it. We're on the brink of it.
Because it's a business as well. Like, some people think about it as a business. Because a lot of, like, when it comes to weapons and weaponizing and selling those weapons and producing those weapons, if there's no wars, no one will buy them, and then maybe the economy itself will collapse. So it's a necessary evil, I think. But yeah.
So what I want to do, and my Christian friends get upset with, it's like, why are you learning about other religions? And I'm like, well, because I know what there is I know what mine has to show me, and I know what mine has fallen short on. And like, I want to know more. Like, I can tell you this with great confidence, Ahmed. Like, there's no chance I'm converting to Islam because I'm converting away from the institutional. Like, I think like both of our religions, because they're singular, right? I think they're good. I think they're good faith traditions. I think Allah is God to me. Jesus is God to me. I think if we were to explore our books together, our books are saying very similar things. And I don't know what your desired interest in this, but I would love to do a cadence every 2 weeks. And like, we'll read a book. I mean, let me shut up before I say that, but I would love to read the Quran with you, but I'd ask you to also read the Bible with me. And we just go one book at a time and compare notes. And I would love to just sequence this and see where it ends up, because I think the most dangerous thing I couldn't do would be not to understand your tradition in its full entirety. And I think it'd be interesting. I don't know where that falls in for you. So would you be interested? And if not, do you know anybody that might be?
Yeah, I'll have to think about it, and I'll get back to you on that as well. And then if I could find someone even better than me to support you on that journey, that would be amazing. That would be great.
And just because there's hesitation, is it because like it would seem sinful for you to be learning our, or what would be the?
I'm afraid of not being be able to represent Islam the best way that is possible, because as mentioned, I'm not the best Muslim there is, and I don't want to, for example, do a poor job of it, you know. So I'd rather having someone way much have like better way, but much better understanding of Islam than I am currently, and that would be a best fit for you, you know.
That'd be so fun, man. Well, and I just want to say, like, I don't think there's such a thing as a bad Islam. I think if you're like, I don't know though, right? I'm just. So we use the word a heretic. Do you know what a heretic is? Does that?
I believe it's the one that does something doesn't breach or like
Anything that breaks from the orthodoxy, right? Anything that is like doesn't fall into the institution. And guess what? I believe that Jesus was the greatest heretic that ever lived. The only people that he condemned was the religious institution. Okay, cool. So then, yeah, I would love to do that. If there's anybody, and I would even volunteer as tribute if there's like 4 or 5 guys that want to like light me up, like, and like I'm like, game on. But I would only ask that we do one book of Quran and one book of Bible. And like, anyway, it would just, I think it'd be the greatest study ever done in mankind. But it's me. So maybe that's my ego, my own power.
Yeah, it might.
Yeah, probably. There's probably some ego in there. But so you guys condemn holy war, we condemn holy war, but we're at holy war. So we're kind of at a catch-22. Like Islam is a religion of peace, as Christianity is, but now we're at war. You guys are at war with yourselves. We're at war with ourselves, and we're at war with each other. It makes no sense. Cool. What about, so in your 5 pillars of Islam, right? It was 5, correct? Yeah. I didn't hear anything about reading, and I didn't hear anything about going to the temple. And I'll speak to ours, right? Like, I don't see it in my text where Jesus tells us to read, but I find the Bible to be reading the Bible and immersing in the Word as a very enriching enhancement. I think it's a portal back to God. Like that's like, so you guys pray 5 times, or 5 times a day, 5 times a day, and you align yourself with Allah, right? Like I go to the Bible and I feel very aligned with God. Like I feel like he talks to me through the text, but then in our church tradition, right? We call them creasters. Are you familiar with creasters?
Yeah.
Christians go like twice a year, or a lot more Christians go weekly, and that's kind of their check the faith box.
Like a Sunday.
Yeah, we're very lazy, and that's where I keep saying this word, like, by your fruit you will be judged, right? Like, I don't think Jesus asked us to go walk into a building once a week and feel good about ourselves and then not go love others. Like, I think he called us to love. Anyway, but so our faith tradition is like, generally speaking, we pray somewhat flippantly. We go to church maybe somewhat regularly. And then some of us, not many of us, like read our Bible regularly. What kind of, that's not one of y'all's pillars. Is that where does that fall in?
Yeah, it's actually fall within those 5 pillars. When we say like praying 5 times, it should be being done inside the mosque, which is kind of like the church for us, which is the mosque. It's called mosque as our temple. So we go pray the 5 prayers inside the mosque. It's preferable and much better to pray inside the mosque. You can do it at your home, but it's much better to pray with the mosque with people there in a group. You have more beneficial towards your deeds. And also Quran, to read Quran all the time. Like you read it while you're doing the prayers, before the prayer, after the prayer, during the whole day. Especially we do it most often or more often in Ramadan, like the month of Ramadan. I don't know, how much do you know about Ramadan or the month itself that we fast?
Nope. Tell me about it. Nope. I've heard of it. I know the name. Yep.
So this is one of the main pillars in Islam as well. It's called Ramadan month, and it happens once a year. So what we do is we fast. We stop eating or drinking water during the day from sunrise till sunset. And we do it for a whole month. And the reason behind it is just, it's kind of like a teaching moment to realize what you have in your life. And so, for example, if you stop yourself from all the pleasures that you have in your life, you can appreciate what you do have when you come back after it, you know? So what we do is sunrise, we stop eating, drinking, listen to music, even having love to your wife or no romantic things, nothing at all for the whole duration of the morning time until sunset. And then in sunset, you can eat and drink. And it actually irrigates your body, makes you a bit healthier, and gives you a sense of like, oh my God, I if I lose my wife, or if I lose my money, if I lose my health, this is how life looked like during this short amount of period. So it makes you really appreciate what you have and reconnect again with God.
It's kind of it's a month of, and we have fasting as a tradition. I have a note because we don't worship, but so you guys fast for a month, and then so it's the act of surrender, right? It's kind of total surrender to anything that might be coming between you and Allah, which makes great sense to me. And so, okay, yeah, I'd love to drill into this with you because it's like, and so you go to most Muslims in Muslim countries, like everybody leaves work and goes to pray 5 times a day. Like we're physically removing our, and see, I think what we Christians freaking, oh, I know what I want to ask. We got to ask you about the multiple wives. So us Christians love to condemn all the other, but so the act, so like we Americans can't stop in our day to meditate. We can't stop in our day to like fold our hands and pray. That's a step too far. You guys take the alignment one more. It's like we are going to stop work and go realign ourselves with our God, right? So like it's a much more reverent and deliberate act. And it's interesting because like, and I would say this for I don't know where you stand on the Mormon train, but like a lot of my Christian friends didn't know that Mormons believed in Jesus, and I don't know what the technical definition of a Christian is, but like they're much more reverent, obedient, and like I would say in alignment with their faith tradition than we are. But we Christians like to say, well, they believe in multiple wives, and we like to say the same thing for you guys. Do you guys believe in that? And I don't know that just to be clear, I don't know that it matters. I don't know who decided that it was only one man and one woman. I'm not sure of that. That seems to be generally normal for the rest of the world. But is that what is?
Well, in Islam, like one of the main reasons that was kind of okay, and it's also only like you can marry four wives at a time, is that. And the reason they used to do it way back, because there was a lot, like at the start of Islam itself, there was a lot of wars and a lot of men go to war and die. And then a lot of women, they end up widowed and they have no one to protect them or provide for them or support them in life. So it started as a way of kind of like taking care of them, making sure that they're okay. And a lot of times, like men have, let me how to say this. They have the ability to love more than one person, other than the female. They can like only one, so they have the ability to love up to 4. And even in our teaching in Islam, it says and clearly states that only do it if you are willing and can do it. And it's one of the main important aspect of it is that you have to be fair between all of them, and you have to provide exactly the same amount of love, money, support, and good treatment for all 4 of them. Otherwise, you'll be punished by God if you didn't. So it's not an easy thing to do.
But it's tolerable in your faith tradition, and I want to make sure that, at the risk of my own peril, like my Christian friends are going to crucify me. But Elon, I used to be a big Elon fan. I'm a big Elon question mark now. But allegedly, like we face extinction if all birthing age women don't have 7 kids or more. Like that is like the man, and I don't know if that's true or not. But I'm like, I don't. If that was true, let's just say that's true. Let's pretend that's a constant. And there seems to be more, and I've found this to be true in America in like great epic proportion, is there seems to be many more women that want to be with a strong man and want to have children then they can find a spouse or a man, right? Like if the women wanted, if society needed more women to be wed and there's not enough men that are willing to do it, like what would be like, I don't know. I'm saying this and I'm like, I'm leading myself to execution. I would be like, no, that Kevin guy said that multiple wives is okay. I don't know. I just don't know where this is.
Go to heaven faster.
Yeah. Like God, I just don't know where the norm. So you seem to be apprehensive to say, yeah, that's okay, but you're also not saying that's wrong. I'm in the same boat of, I don't know how wrong it is. I don't know. I mean, God bless. I can only handle one woman. Like it's all that I have on my plate. So I can't be fair or equitable to her. I can't like love her well. So like the thought of another one is like, forget it. But I'm like wondering why that is so, it's like, we almost condemn people that believe that that's okay as much as we do a pedophile. And I'm just wondering in your world, you're saying you guys are much more tolerant of it than we are.
Yeah, people are doing it. And actually the thing is, for me, I totally understand what you're going through, and I totally agree with you. Like for me, one is enough. Well, I think one is more than enough. Like for me as Ahmed. But a lot of other people, they're okay. They have capability and acceptance of handling more than one wife and being with more than one wife and being fair with them. And that's the main condition in Islam, is that you have to be 100% fair with all of, like you love them equally, give them money equally, treat them well equally. But like, for example, if you put one of them in a house, you need to put the other one in a house, and the third one and the fourth one. And it's not an easy thing to do. And if you didn't do that, you will be punished by God. So unless if you have the capability to do it, then go. And if not, then you're an idiot and you just condemn yourself.
I think it's just so interesting. It's like such a, I don't know why I'm not saying that it's great. I'm not saying that it's bad, but it's kind of like, it is like the one for one. See, they're crazy. They believe in multiple wives. Like, I don't understand why we go to that extreme. It's like, where did it come from? But anyway, that's it.
Yeah. And if allow me, like actually most of the Muslims are the ones the true ones, they do it out of the attention of being helpful and supportive. And they, for example, they marry a widow female, or a lady that doesn't have anyone that supports her in her life. So they marry her out of the goodness of their heart, to support her, to provide a house for her, just to be there, And some of them actually marry a second wife because the first one doesn't give them kids. So they marry another one to have children. And one of my uncles actually married another lady because her first wife, she only gave him boys, only like 5 boys, and he wants a girl, like he wants a baby girl. So even his wife was like, you know what, let's just marry another one. And he married another one, and he had like three daughters.
But so there's like in American culture, like there's this show now, like Mormon Wives, and my wife is watching it. Trash TV, trash. It's not good. It's just, nobody should watch. It's worse than the Kardashians. No offense to Kardashians, I think that's garbage too. But so we've got this weird, and I guess this is worldwide, right? So let's talk about all things sex, Ahmed, since we're talking about shit that nobody normally talks about, right? So we've got OnlyFans, we've got porn, we've got guys going upstairs to jack off, we've got stripper joints, we've got prostitution, and it's been around since the age of time, right? Women have been selling themselves in the sex trade since the end of time. And so, it's easy for us to be like, those Muslims are weird. They have 4 wives. Oh, wait, you have 4 women that you're going to love and provide for? That is bad. And I'm like, I just don't get it. And then like our 8-year-old kids are like upstairs jacking off, watching women undress themselves. And it's like, that's not, I don't know. I just don't think that's good. But so then we are committed to monogamy, which is very hard. We have, do you guys have a divorce rate like we do? We're like 50%, like one in every 2 marriages fail.
Not as high. Yeah, not as high. No,
not as high. And so we have this like infidelity problem. I don't know. Like, it's like we aren't supposed to have. Do you guys believe in no sex before marriage? Is that a thing for y'all?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, it's a no. Like, there's no sex before marriage. Not at all. Like, if you'd like, I can explain to you like the whole process of marriage here as well, if you'd like to.
Yeah, let me shut up. But then I think the one question so I would say this about my faith tradition, and I think it's very sacred. I think it's actually, so like, I boil it down to its essence, which is love God, love people, period, end of sentence. So if you say Allah, I say God, and you're like, put your arm around me and like, we're compassionate towards each other and accepting, I think that's great. I think the minute you say I'm going to hell and the minute I say you're going to hell, that's anti-love. And I think we've violated our own. You agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Okay. And I just want to make sure, my institution does not. My institution thinks that my tolerance of you is promoting evil doing, right? And so would yours say the same?
I can't speak on behalf of them, but kind of like it's touch and go, because here's the thing, like, as I said in the beginning, we're not the one that decided who goes to hell and who goes to heaven. Allah does. So even if you die, I can say, yeah, may Allah bless his soul and hopefully he goes to heaven. It's the same idea.
Okay. But you would say in general, you guys are more tolerant of me and my beliefs than we would be of yours.
Yes, yeah, 100% true.
And so tie goes to the runner. I'm more in favor of that. Like, what's more loving, right? That's my kind of my thermometer. Like, who sounds? But I'm not converting to my Christian family. I'm not converting. There's nothing. I'm converting away from the institution entirely. But okay, so yeah, so that's good. So like foundationally, everything, well, whatever, on the big ticket items, there's not much disagreement. There's some in your church that would like condemn me. There's many in my church that would condemn you absolutely as wrong, as not worthy, as you need to change your beliefs. And walk me through marriage in like an Arabic place.
Yeah, because there's a lot misconception of like arranged marriage, or like all the least or Muslims, they have arranged marriage or all these things. But actually, if when I break it down to you right now, I will just see if it makes sense or not. So let's assume that you, Kevin, coming to me to propose to marry my daughter. Okay, so you don't know my family, you haven't seen my family before. You don't know my daughter. You have no idea how she looks like, and because you never seen her before in your whole life, and you're not supposed to see her. Okay, so you went to your mother. Hey, mom, I'm ready to get married. Can you please find me a suitable wife? Hey, Kevin, what are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for a girl that. How tall are you, Kevin?
I'm 6'2". I got size.
16. I'm 5'7". So you tell your mom, well, I'm looking for someone like 5'6" or 5'5". Doesn't have to be really big or small, or like maybe like a white, whatever you prefer, like whatever your type is. But you give her like a general way of what you're looking for. So your mom, she go there and she look for a suitable mate. And then she find, for example, my daughter, that she's similar to what you're looking for. And they come back to you, hey, Kevin, I found this girl. She just finished her school. She have a degree in this and this and that. She's really smart. She's funny. She's similar to what you're looking for. And you say, yeah, okay, mom, let's go to the next step. So what's the next step? You, Kevin, come and visit me. I'm the father. You come in to me. Hey, I'm proposing to marry your daughter in marriage. It's like, okay, cool. So you introduce yourself to me and all that, and then we set up a date for you to see my girl, my daughter. So we set up a date a week after that or whatever, and you come in there, and this is the first time you, Kevin, see my daughter, and then this is the first time my daughter sees you. So look at each other, seeing the physical form of each other, and speak to each other for a little bit. So she comes to you without wearing an abaya, so you can see her like, but wearing conversative legs. So you don't. She's not wearing shorts or anything, but like wearing a normal, decent dress, at least, so you can see her hair and her body overall, right? Then you speak with each other for a couple of minutes, just to get to understand each other and to know each other. Both of you will be so nervous because she never met a man outside of her family, and you, for the first time, you will see her. And then after that, you will leave. You'll go back to your home, and she stays. And this moment, I'll ask my daughter if she likes you physically, and your mom will ask you, or your father will ask you if you like her physically. So if both of you like each other physically, hey, she looks good, she looks amazing, she looks like the one I'm looking for, and he looks like the one I'm looking for. All right. Now we go to the next stage. So what's the next stage? Is the engagement. So now you're engaged, and then before you actually doing your wedding day, you put a period of engagement, maybe like 6 months, 3 months, 8 months. And in that period, you start dating. Communicate with each other. know each other on a personal level, know your personalities. Well, do we click or not? She's funny and she's not funny. Can she expect me? You get to know each other, but without any sexual involvement at all. And I'll tell you why. So during this period, well, maybe I realized, well, Kevin is not the guy that I'm looking for. Maybe he's have a short temper. Maybe his sense of humor is terrible. Oh, maybe my daughter, you think at her like, oh, maybe she's not in the same level as me mentally. Maybe she's a childish. Maybe she's have a really wrong, bad temper. Or maybe we don't have the same point of views on certain things in my life. Maybe I don't want her to go to work. Maybe she don't want to go work. Maybe I don't want her to do whatever. And that period of like engagement period, you discover each other. And also, well, hey, I'm willing to live with this person for the rest of my life without even having any sexual intercourses at all. So it's a pure uh, knowing each other. So in this 6 month period or 3 month period, if you click each other, it's like, yeah, this is the one, then you continue to the next stage, which is the actual marriage. But if not, you can end it right there, right now. And this is the reason why you don't have any sexual intercourse, because if you end it, she will still stay pure. And also you, because it didn't work. We didn't click spiritually with each other. So now, well, I'm okay with this period. We can continue now. You go get married. And it's going to be hard and rough in the first 1 year, because you have to understand that she never lived with you before in her life. And that 6 month period, even though, because you and her are just showing the best side of yourselves in that 6 month period. But it's to the point that you are willing to accept all her fault in the same thing with her when after you get married. But if not, from the beginning, oh shit, I cannot live with her. Her mentality is totally different than mine. You just break it off. And then she's still untouched. And the same thing with you. And then you just go find someone else and she go find someone else. And she have the full authority to say no anytime.
And so, is there any shame, like in our country? Like if you get engaged and then you call it off, it's kind of like embarrassing, like you made the wrong decision. Is in your country, or not in your tradition, is there any shame if you guys get engaged and then it doesn't work out? It's intended to do that.
It's totally fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. And a lot of people will be more understanding because nothing actually happened, like nothing sexually happened. And but then, despite, for example, no, if you actually went to marriage and then they spend time together and then you break off, it's like, oh, there's something wrong. Maybe in the girl or in the guy or whatever, because they should have not get married before. They didn't. If they're not. Yeah, that's what happened. I lived into it. Like my engagement period was like 9 months. Like when I first started, and then in last 9 months, and now after that I get married. And now I just had a baby girl like 1 month ago. I just had a baby girl, so I went through the whole situation. So I'm talking from experience.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your daughter. What's your daughter's name?
Shadin.
And then what's your wife's name?
It's Muruj.
Okay. And so our culture it's fascinating to me, right? It's just fascinating. We think, oh, it's arranged marriage, like all of it. I forgot about it. I actually forgot. But like, it sounds so intentional. It sounds like it's very protective of both parties. It sounds very eternal. I would love to know the Christian argument against whatever was just posited. But let's talk about just the implications, right? Like, I think our culture, the rule, which we suck at rules, but we like to yell when people don't follow the ones that we think we're going to take seriously, is like no sex before marriage. And so kids spend their, I'm being anecdotal, like the Mormons are much better at this than we are, but like the Protestant Christian and generally, I think the Catholics, we run around having sex with everybody all the time, right? We have premarital affairs, like we're dating to figure out who we want to get engaged to. And we have sex with everybody. We get it. There's a kind of a proverbial, and this is not inside of the church. The church would say you're not supposed to have sex. So I'm speaking culturally, and I'd like you to speak to your culture too after, so we understand the Christian, the right way is you date, you engage, you get married, and then you have sex and you procreate. Like the fruit, the actual culture, you've seen it, right? So we're just having a mosh pit of sex, and then when we get married, we want to, like, it's kind of boring because we only have one partner, and we just had 30, and we could do all. It's just terrible. Let's just call it what it is. We're really bad at it, and that's I think why we suck at marriage. It's no secret. But are you guys more? Is it so I understand the doctrinal proper way to do it from what you just described. Is that what most people are doing? And then the big question I have, are most fathers loving their daughters well? And like the Westerner in me is like, you got a bunch of evil dads that are kind of raffling off their daughters, and like this is why the sex trade exists, would be kind of like where I would see kind of a, this could be bad. So I mean, in mainstream in the world, how does it function?
No, no, actually, no. Here, especially, maybe I forgot to mention this, but we are really, really big on family. Like one of our core values is family, family, family. Especially when it comes to like females, like we love our moms and sisters and respect them and protect them more on than our lives. Like I'm willing to put my life for them. So it comes to same thing with all the dads here, especially in Islam and Saudi Arabia. At these days, on this age, that we cherish them and love them more than we can even imagine. So that misconception of like shoveling our daughters around or not, that was way, way back in the old days. And it happens not just in Islam, and everywhere. Like some of them does it because of need. Some of them sell their own kids because of money or drugs or whatever. And that happens way back and happens in a lot of region of the world. But in Islam, it's not as big as a lot of people think. And because I mentioned before, we really huge on family principle and yeah.
And so, would you say, like, and I think I'm like on the bleeding edge of this, and I don't think most people, like, we've got I think in our country, like, I would say, I'm going to say it this way, and I hope to do a series on this. And if you feel passionate one way or the other, like listening to this, and you want to talk about our man, I'm going to call it a man problem. We have a man problem. Like, there's no, like, strong in our country. And I come from this in a very weird angle. I run a company, and I have a lot of women that come to me that are like, I'm going to make something for myself. Like, they're baddies. Like, they're driven.
Nice.
They are mothers, most of them. Like, they're not just like these, and they're like, I want to make a name for myself. They're like, I can't find any men, dude. I mean, I'm a Marine. Like, I am a leader of men, and like, there's no men that want to work for me. So one of two things: either there's not a lot of strong men out there, or I'm intimidating, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just a bad leader. Like, I'll say it, but I've seen it in enough other circles to corroborate that, like, there aren't many strong, they're like, and I think we've lost our place, right? But so, like, in our world, there's a competition, right? And so women have been on this, I'm going to call it the feminist kick, and they've proven it. I'm going to say it, they're better than us. I look at what we have to do to bring a child into the world. Look at what they have to do. Look at, like, a man when he gets sick, and look at what a woman does. Like, I think they're better. I think they won that because they are the mother. The hardest job in the world is to be a good parent, and like, they're better. They're better equipped. And so, but unfortunately, we demonized what we call the trad wife, right? A mother that just takes care of you. You're just going to raise your kids, right? And so now they're in the workplace competing with us, and they're better than us. And now we're finding that, like, men, we used to have to be the protector when we all had to go to war, right? And that was cool. That makes sense. If we go back to it, it's pretty much our only real function that still remains as something we have to do. But then we went from protector to provider. And now they don't need us to provide for us. They say these things. I've heard a lot of women say, like, well, I want it. It's like, well, you got a fancy way of showing it. Because if you're running around trying to outdo us and you want somebody to provide for you, like, stop raising the bar. It's hard enough. Like, we're just simple creatures. We want to be respected. Like, stop making it harder. And I'm like looking at these women, and I consider myself a 1%er in thought and capacity. And like, I'm decent enough looking. I look at all these women. I'm like, you guys, I wouldn't want to lead you. I don't want to lead you. You're intimidating me. And like, I like, don't intimidate easy. Like, I would fight Goliath all day long, but I don't want to go home to a woman that's out earning me and is better looking than me and is like raising our kids and making more money than me. And like, I can't lead you. And like, maybe that makes me insecure. It's just like, I don't want to compete. And so all that to say, like, I think in our country, right, wrong, or otherwise, like, assigned marriage, I'll say it. Whatever you guys are doing sounds way more deliberate, way more intentional. But I think there's caveats. But like whatever we're doing isn't working. I think it is not working, and that's why a lot of dudes are upstairs jerking off to OnlyFans. And I think that's just the essence of a man in America is to be upstairs jerking off, not going and winning affection. And I have a big freaking problem with it now that I've talked all sorts of crap about the Westerner, and all the insecure dudes that listen to this are going to get angry. It's fine. So just stop jerking off, you loser. But tell me about your most people kind of, they're in line with the orthodoxy, like they follow that, and it's a mother carefully handing off his daughter to somebody that's going to provide for her and protect her. Like, is the covenant of that pretty well guarded, or is it kind of look more like the Kardashians of America, and like you're one of the few that actually fall in line with it?
No. It's majority of it like well guarded, as you mentioned, and that's the main thing. Is, for example, if someone come and take my goddaughter hand in marriage, you have to make sure that he will provide for her, he will take care of her, and he will treat her better than I did. So just making sure that that's there, and protecting, because that's whatever like father that wishes for their kids to do better than his when he does with his life. So yeah, definitely. It's a one thing that we make sure of to do that. Even me, like when I went there to get married, they have to go do background checks about me, and they ask my friends about myself and all that, just to make sure that they're giving it to the right person.
But there's a little bit of, in our world, like there's a little bit, our path seems more free to me, right? Generally speaking, it's like, it seems more free, but it also seems like more chaotic. Like sometimes freedom is like, do you guys suffer from sex culture and all? Like our college, and I think it's changing. I think Gen Z is changing a little bit culturally, or Gen A even now, is like, my upbringing was, we went to college, we drank, and we hooked up. That was what we did. That was how we lived. That's what we look forward to. Do you guys just very culturally enriched, or do you guys have the same kind of sinful tendencies?
Oh no, it's totally different. Like no, here like you go to school, you grow up, you get a job, you get married, and then you start living your life. Like it's not available here. It's not what we were looking for. It's just like what we were looking for and raised for is to grow up properly and get a job and support your family, especially your mom and dad, and get married. It's just marriage and starting your own family.
Okay, Ahmed, you got to come back, because I got to understand the shawl and covering up a woman and all this other stuff. I'm deeply, just so you know, I'm deeply convicted. I came here I'm like fully ready for Islam to be more loving than Christianity. I did not come here to find out that like American men are not taking care of women as good as Islamic men. I think that's a huge wake up call. And I have no problem being the one to lead that charge, because the men in America, like we owe it to ourselves to fucking elevate our game, because we suck. We suck in a sentence. But I did not expect that. I'm very humbled. I'm very embarrassed. And I'm thrilled to hear that. Actually, I'm thrilled. Like I'll say it right now. It sounds like the men in America need to go look up to the Islamists that they condemn on how to take care of a woman. That's crazy. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm going to be canceled before I get popular. That's what just happened. Thanks for tuning in. This is a conversation I've been dying to have for like 3 or 4 years. So interested to see the other side of the faith tradition, the Islamic. So we've got Ahmed. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. This was a huge high for me. So in summary, American men, we have to do better. I think Ahmed is a lover. I consider myself a lover. I don't know why our faith traditions are at war with each other. I don't know why our faith traditions are at war with themselves. I think people are generally confused. So I hope this was an exciting conversation. For those of you that heard some heretical things that you don't agree with, don't soundclip me. Like, don't do it. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like it, fill out this. Well, everybody should fill out the survey. We want to know how we're doing. Let's see tell me who should be on next. Like, I think this conversation is so necessary, particularly as we're getting ready for World War III, like a bunch of idiots. Like, there's a couple trillion people in the country. I bet you couldn't find 1,000 that want to go to war. So our leaders need to do better. It's a very serendipitous moment that this came to be, right as we're on the brink of whatever's going on over in the Middle East right now. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Pineapple Productions for putting that together. See you next time.